Holy. Oh, there he is. Come on, there.
What's up, everybody? This is John with Archer Fish. I'm just going to go through some of my gear real quick because I've been getting a lot of questions from everybody. This is kind of the summer and into fall gear and everything that I'm throwing for bass and striper. I'll start off with the striper because basically that's all I'm targeting right now when I go out mostly. And I've got this medium heavy Dawia procyon rod paired with a 4000 Sienna by Shimano, and I love this rod. I want to talk about it sooner, but I really wanted to put some work in with it. This Dawia procyon is beautiful. It is light. It is heavy duty, very sensitive rod tip. You can cast it a mile, and you really need to when you're fighting the striper. When I first started out targeting striper, I'm using bass rods. I couldn't cast, couldn't put a lot of weight on it. I'm breaking off all kinds of stuff. But I got this now. I got 12-pound mono, a 4000 size reel to handle all that line, and then you want a heavy rod. I got the Lucky Craft Gunfish, one of my tools for top water. I also throw the IMA skimmer and then a couple other top waters that I have. Just kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for. So I'm throwing this for striper right now, and I caught some nice bass on it. The other one, which is another Dawia procyon, it's a medium. I am throwing this for bass, and I've caught some good fish on this one as well. I got this paired up with the Shimano Sedona 2500, and this is my new favorite reel right here. This thing is not that expensive, 60 to 70 bucks. It is a step up from the Sienna, but it is miles apart as far as quality goes to me. It feels great. It handles well. The gear ratio is great, and it's just a fantastic reel. I got that paired up with my like I said, my one-piece Dawia procyon medium, and it is fantastic. I've caught some good fish with this. I got 8-pound fluorocarbon on this. All I'm throwing right now is 8-pound fluorocarbon, besides from the striper. For bass, it's 8-pound fluorocarbon, and if I'm drop shotting, I may drop it down to 6-pound. My favorite setup is the E6X from Loomis. This is a medium fast action rod. It is so light and well balanced and durable. This thing has got backbone, but it's very, very sensitive. I've caught a lot of really good fish on this, a lot of 5-pounders that just, it feels great. You don't ever feel like it's stressing the rod. It's got a great feel to it. If you don't have one of these, I definitely recommend it. I got it paired up with my Stradic 3000, so I can keep a lot of line on there. And like I said, I got 8-pound fluoro on there. This is my main sort of bass setup right now, and it's fantastic. One of my favorite setups as well, which I've been throwing for a long time, is this, and it's a little bit more inexpensive. The Loomis is about 170, 180, 200 around there. This one is a Wild Series from Shakespeare, probably about 70, 80 bucks, and it is fantastic. Again, good backbone, light, very sensitive, and I've caught a lot of good fish on this, and I never feel like, it's gonna, the fish is like winning the battle with this thing. And I got this paired up, like I said, with one of my favorites, the Sedona by Shimano 2500. Fantastic reel. Again, 8-pound mono, fluoro. And then I got another rod, which I'll save for another time because I'm just not too big on it. But anyway, what I'm throwing for bass, right now I'm just targeting striper most of the time. I'm going after the boils. I'm throwing big top waters, things like that. But if I see bass boiling, or if I'm kind of, the striper stuff is slowing down and I want to try to find some bass or bass boils, I'm throwing the fluke. It's one of my favorite summer and fall techniques. Everybody kind of knows this on the lake. Everybody's kind of throwing flukes. Some people throw the fluke with the little clear bubble popper. Not popper, what the hell is that thing called? The bobber, the clear bobber filled with water. Half filled with water so you can cast it. It's clear, creates a splash, and you have the little fluke behind it. Very effective for a lot of people. I don't like to use any weight or anything. I just like to get it as close as I can and throw this right into the boil, or throw it onto shore where they're boiling and kind of just barely drag it into the water. You cannot go wrong with the fluke. I throw a few different colors. Got the white one, I got this clear one, and a couple other ones. I just kind of try to throw whatever works for me. Senko, my favorite bait, of course. I throw the green pumpkin black flake or some variation of green and black most of the time until summer. It's summer, I've switched over because I think the bass start keying in on bluegill. There's tons of bluegill in the lake. They start spawning, they're all over the place. bluegill that you haven't seen the rest of the year. So I start throwing something that's kind of similar in color, and that is the black with blue flake, and then other variations of that, like this weird, it's like disco or something color. But these darker sort of flashier, darker with like flashier flake colors, and that was very successful. I caught a lot of fish and a lot of really good fish on these. And then towards the end of the summer, I'm kind of switching back to the green colors because they seem to be more effective, and of course the fluke. And what I use for a hook on these is the 4 or 6 owner mosquito hooks. They're durable, they're great, they're light, and since the water's clear, the bass don't, get spooked by, a big old hook on there or something, or let's say like the Gamakatsu Finesse Wide Gap. I kind of stopped throwing that in the summertime, and I stick with these smaller hooks. It just seems to let the bait do its thing a little bit more, the slow sort of shimmy of the Senko, and it catches a lot of fish. So that is it. That is all I'm throwing right now. Every once in a while, I'll throw the old jerk bait. Got the ghost shad and then that blue silver color. I just am not having a lot of luck with it. I mean, I'll catch a little fish or a fish will follow it, but not a lot. So I'm using basically the fluke, the top water, the Senko, and that is it. That's what I'm throwing. Light pound test. A fluorocarbon for almost everything except for the striper. I got 12-pound mono. And I think that is it. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I try to go over everything that people were asking me about, so just put them in the comments. I'll just tell you what I'm using. I'll also put some links down there so you can just kind of quick order stuff if you need to. I get like a commission from that, so that does help me out. And that is all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you tomorrow.